Hey folks, and welcome to week 9. Obviously watch the video, then we're going to do the section called breaking down the big question. The biggest problem students have with research is they want to type their question into Google and get an answer. And if you do that, it tells us someone's already answered your research question. There's no reason for you to go about doing the research. It's done. Okay. The alternative is, if you find a ton of answers and they don't agree, is that it's a question that's more or less opinion. And that might give you some place to dig in and try to find the real answer. We saw that last week in the Science Versus podcast. Okay. Now, in order to be able to answer the sort of research questions you guys are asking, we need to be able to break it down. For example, if you're trying to figure out whether a mechanical pencil or a wooden pencil was better for the environment, we need to know a bunch of different things. What the pencils are made of, how much energy goes into producing each, what sort of toxic waste might be produced, and those are all the smaller questions. Yeah, there might actually be some research out there on how much toxic waste is produced when you create a certain amount of this type of plastic that goes into a pencil. And that's what that whole breaking the big question down is. Okay? There's a template here and a sample. Take a look at it. There's a Dropbox here to submit your research questions. The important thing here is they are research questions. They're not research answers. You don't need to do any of the answers. They are there. It's on the template. You can see it, but you do not need to put the answers in. All I want right now is to see that you can break the question from the big one down to the small one. Once you do that, and I'm happy with where you are and I feel like you're on the right track, I'm actually going to move your research questions into Google Docs. That way, whenever you're researching, you can just go into Google Docs and record your answers, okay? So week 10, a lot of what we do during week 10 is going to be working on doing your research, okay? The sooner you can get your research questions approved this week, the more time you have to do research, okay? So you can do research all this week and theoretically all the way through next week. Okay, but the sooner you get them done, the more time you have to do research. Since it's in Google Docs, I can actually come in, comment on it, give you feedback, let you know where you might be missing something, where you could find a better source, all of those sorts of things. Okay, so there's a quick tutorial here on how to use Google Docs. And finally, there's a tutorial here on how to use OneSearch. You guys have probably all used it at this point for Essay 2, but I wanted to give you a quick tutorial about developing search terms and how to use it, okay? If you've got any questions along the way, don't hesitate to let me know. My goal is that by mid-next week, you've answered all your research questions. So just to give you an idea of where we're headed, that's what I want. If you've got questions, just get in touch.